First tonight on Our News Live at 7, Grand Bahamians kicking into high gear for their storm prep. Our Italia Hall is live on the ground in GB, bringing us the latest. And the hustle on Potter's Key Dock collecting cargo to service our central and southern islands before the wild weather from Hurricane Milton arrives. Plus, the evacuation experience. Our Delvardo Emmanuel brings the story from Bahamians evacuating from the University of South Florida. And then in our news at 7:30, a tornado rips through an eastern New Providence community Tuesday evening. Our Joshua Williams is live tonight from the scene. All that and more as Our News Live at 7 starts now. Hurricane Milton closing in on Florida with hurricane warnings posted all along the central and western parts of the Sunshine State. Welcome to Our News Live at 7, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Marlena Leonard, in for Candino Knowles. With increasing threats of tornadoes as the storm nears landfall, this massive, major hurricane will likely affect every county, even bringing tropical storm conditions to our own northerly islands. Here are the developing stories around Hurricane Milton tonight. Under a tropical storm warning, Milton brings bad weather to Bimini and West Grand Bahama tonight, followed by Central and then East Grand Bahama and Abaco by morning. And of course, Grand Bahamians know the drill. Weather officials say expect more wind than water. The message tonight, stay indoors. But for the people in West and Central Florida, Bahamians included, the forecast is grim. We're checking in with those Bahamians riding it out in Florida as Milton bears down. We have a lot to get to in this half hour, but first, let's establish where the storm is and what kind of power it's packing. We head over to the Weather Center, where meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by. Greg, this storm seems to have slowed down since we spoke last night. Can you give us a picture of where it is tonight and what Floridians are in for?
Well, this system is right on the doorsteps of Tampa and Sarasota. It looks as though it's going to be actually moving into the Sarasota area, but Tampa is actually going to still feel the bulk of this hurricane as it continues to push towards them. It's right offshore. A lot of showers and thunderstorms associated with that system right now as it still on that northeasterly track. It's still a Category 3 hurricane. Present position 27 north, 83 west. Winds 120 miles per hour with gusts 150. And its movement is towards the northeast at 15 miles per hour. As I mentioned, rain bands and showers and thunderstorms spreading across that area. They even had some tornadoes in South Florida with one of these rain bands. And it's those that we're going to continue to monitor as we expect showers and thunderstorms to be moving into our area tonight. We could possibly see some tornadic activity along those rain bands.
Well, naturally, the eyes of all of the Bahamas are on Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Bimini. Can you walk us through what will happen on those islands in the next 12 hours?
Well, the winds are starting to pick up. Bimini and Grand Bahama now seeing those strong winds. The winds are around 50 to 20 miles per hour, but they will be increasing as that system pushes towards the northeast and moves across Florida. So tropical storm warning still in effect for the Bimini, Grand Bahama, as well as the Abacos, and a gale warning in effect for the remainder of the Northwest Bahamas. Showers and thunderstorms associated with those rain bands will begin to affect those areas tonight. Notice one is approaching Bimini, and that should push up towards Grand Bahama later on tonight, early tomorrow morning.
All right, thanks, Greg. Well, the northern Bahamas should be feeling tropical storm conditions even as we speak. Our Italia Hall is live from Grand Bahama tonight. Italia, what's it like as you await more of these storm conditions?
Well, Marlena, as you mentioned, we are feeling those tropical storm conditions. Behind me, it's very windy, and tonight I'm standing directly outside the Emergency Operations Center where Met officials just met with government officials in a briefing. And next to me, I'm standing here with the senior meteorologist, Trinad Tynes from the Bahamas Department of Meteorology here in Grand Bahama, who's going to give us an update. Trinad, tell us, when can we start to feel impact here in Grand Bahama, Bimini, and Abaco?
Basically, we're looking at just after midnight. We're going to feel a little bit more increase in the wind. Like you stated a few minutes ago, we are getting a little bit of the breezy conditions, and then we are expected the stronger start to just like around 3 early in the morning, and then towards the midday or lunchtime period, We anticipate our strongest set of winds, roughly in the range of 35 to 45 knots or so. And then we are expected around, let's say about 2, 3 o'clock. That will be the closest the system is expected to be us, roughly 100 to some 160 plus miles to the north of us.
Okay, and I know you just had a briefing inside the Emergency Operations Center. What's the message to residents right now, and what came out of that briefing?
Basically, we're saying that let the public not panic. It's a very powerful storm in the Gulf of Mexico. Once it comes off of Florida sometime tomorrow, we anticipate it to be a weak Category 1 or a very strong tropical storm. So we just letting the public know that this is just a tropical storm conditions we are anticipating, and it should be an easy ride. But for those who are anticipating some flooding in areas that are used to flooding at these type of conditions, to just take your time, listen to the news media to see what time to go and visit the shelters if you need to go. But just be calm. We can get through this, and it's only for Thursday we anticipate these windy conditions, and then an improvement for Friday.
So Friday we should start to see things clear up for the most part here in Grand Bahama. What about Abaco and Bimini?
Abaco, but Bimini would be the one that's going to clear up first, because Bimini should have much stronger winds than we have right now. They should be up in the average about 25 knots at this present time. Abaco will be the last to feel the effects, and that'll be sometime Friday afternoon.
Thanks so much for that interview, Trinad. Well, earlier today I spoke with residents on Grand Bahama to see how they are preparing. Let's take a look. It was a day of preparation in Bimini, Abaco, and Grand Bahama as local forecasters warn of tropical storm conditions from Milton. My cameraman Dave Mackey and I witnessed preparations on the streets of Grand Bahama Wednesday, with many residents taking advantage of free sand from Bahama Rock.
Last time Dorian was here, it didn't flood, but I'm not taking a chance this time because they're saying it's coming with a lot of water. So I'm just trying to prepare myself, for me and my family, you know.
What are your plans for the sandbags that you?
Yeah, we're gonna stick it to the door, and I'm carrying enough to share around to the family, and we're gonna put it to the door to block the water, stop the water. If they have flood, it won't be able to come in the house.
Well, I'm here getting some sand today, and I thank God for Bahama Rock giving out sand. I'm on the coast of the 8 Mile Rock area, and just in case of any storm surges or anything, I will have my sand to make sure it's strong.
Well, as we can see, residents here on Grand Bahama aren't taking any chances with this storm. Reporting live on Grand Bahama for Our News, I'm Italia Hall. Back to you in studio, Marlena.
All right, thanks so much for that, Italia. Well, be sure to stay tuned to Our News at 7:30, where our Italia Hall is live on Grand Bahama with more from the island administrator. We have the latest in the north. A low-pressure system that the National Hurricane Center is monitoring also causing adverse weather to the capital yesterday, dumping lots of rain, even causing a surprise tornado in eastern New Providence. Take a look at the CCTV footage provided exclusively to Our News, showing what appears to be a tornado sweeping across the parking lot of the Family Market food store. Fences blown down, damaged vehicles, and rooftops tell the story of what occurred here around 4 yesterday. Tanya Trico says her customers had to run and hide inside to seek shelter.
When we looked up, we noticed that there was a funnel cloud coming, and that's when I realized that it was a tornado. And as soon as that happened, everybody ran inside, and we didn't get a good visual of it because everybody was inside at the time. But upon further investigation, when I looked at the cameras, I realized that the tornado cut straight across.
And coming up on Our News at 7:30, our Joshua Williams is live in that community where he'll tell us more about what he learned. Well, freight vessels were on Potter's Key Dock collecting cargo to service the central and southern islands before the wild weather from Hurricane Milton arrives. Berthany McDermott spoke with them and a few fishermen who've been docked due to the passing storm.
Right now, everything is delayed for the international part of this company.
With Hurricane Milton drawing closer and closer to Florida, cargo vessels normally making the journey to Florida have been docked until further notice. That was the case for the 3 ships from Ro-Ro Shipping, which usually sails to West Palm Beach.
Right now, they're docked here because of the weather. We don't want to make sure like none of the boats are in West Palm Beach during the system coming in. We try to prioritize safety first. So hopefully like next week when the weather clears up a little more, because we're not sure if it's coming towards our way after it passes through Florida. So we're going to make sure if the system is completely cleared and we're safe to go before anything.
Hurricane Milton is predicted to be a major storm when it slams into Florida later tonight. Floridians are being warned to prepare for the worst hurricane they've ever experienced. But the system is also impacting local shipping companies. Other freight companies shipping to central and southern Family Islands were taking freight in hopes of leaving before the weather deteriorated.
We're on schedule. We just have a delay for Morgan's Bluff, pending the weather condition and so forth.
But one freight company that usually travels to North Eleuthera and Hatchet Bay on Thursdays pushed their travel to Friday or Saturday.
We're taking freight as usual, hoping that we're going to be able to leave when we're supposed to leave.
The passage of Hurricane Milton prompted meteorologists to put Abaco, Grand Bahama, and Bimini residents under a tropical storm warning. Choppy seas also causing fishermen to have to stay ashore.
Like in anything else, there's always a good and a bad. Because they didn't have fish yesterday, they may cause them to want to fish more tomorrow.
Well, it didn't impact so much. Just like 1 or 2 days. As fishermen, get like 1 or 2 days off, but that ain't nothing too bad. 1 or 2 days can't hurt.
Marlena, now as you can see behind me, the vessels docked here at the Porter's Key dock, they are docked as a precaution. As for those fishermen, they say they have enough catch to last them until the system passes and they can go back to sea again. Coming to you live from Porter's Key dock, I'm Berthany McDermott, sending it back to you on the desk, Marlena.
All right, thanks so much, Berthany. Well, the Airport Authority announced the closure of several airports in Abaco, Grand Bahama, and Bimini due to adverse weather conditions from Hurricane Milton. The 4 airports in Abaco, Marsh Harbor, Treasure Key, Moores Island, and Sandy Point will all close from sunset today and reopen at 10 a.m. on Friday. Grand Bahama's International Airport will close at 8 p.m. today and reopen at 10 a.m. on Friday. The Bimini Airport closed at 2 p.m. today and will reopen at sunrise on Friday. For more details, visit the Our News social media pages. Well, tonight we're following a developing story out of Tampa, Florida, where Bahamians at the University of South Florida have been evacuated ahead of Monster Storm Milton making landfall. Authorities are taking no chances, forcing students to leave their dormitories and seek shelter elsewhere. Delvardo Emmanuel brings us the latest on how Bahamian students are bracing for the storm's impact.
With Hurricane Milton gaining strength and set to slam into central Florida, the University of South Florida has ordered the evacuation of its campus, including Residence Hall. Officials say the move was a precautionary one. Bahamian Kayla Neely is an economics major at USF. She describes the frantic moments leading up to the evacuation as news of Hurricane Milton spreads across the campus.
I definitely still have anxiety from Helene because it all happened so close together, and it was just, you had to think so quickly and try to recover from everything that happened with Helene, and it was just all a lot.
With the Category 4 hurricane on its way, Bahamian students far from home are finding themselves in a difficult situation. Kayla evacuated further north to Tallahassee. For many, this is the first time they've had to evacuate due to a hurricane in the U.S. Michael Monroe is another Bahamian student who didn't want to take any risk after seeing the latest forecast and headed south to Miami.
I am someone who watches the weather very avidly, and so I knew shortly after the last storm that there was one coming. And so when I was looking at my plans, I would say, okay, if I was leaving, when would I leave? And so I looked at this weekend.
Helping to coordinate safety measures for Bahamian students is Dr. Rutha May Sears, a math professor and faculty advisor for the Bahamas United Impactful Students Association. Her focus was ensuring that everyone had a plan.
So I knew several was leaving. They're getting on that flight. So I was like, okay, good. Because I would prefer, rather than, let's wait and find out. If you can get out, get out. But, even at the same time, I was like, hey, I live in Wesley Chapel. If you need to come. We'll make it work.
With evacuations in effect in Florida and Hurricane Milton making landfall within hours, only thing left for students to do is wait and hope for minimal damage. Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvardo Emmanuel.
Thanks, Delvardo. Well, with this wet weather, many have noticed animals left out in the rain. The Bahamas Humane Society is calling on people to bring their pets inside. It's something Bahamas Humane Society Supervisor Valentino Armeli says they've been getting complaints about even before this most recent weather system.
There's only so much we could do. And plus we have it depends on which area. We would go to the police station and file a logical complaint in reference to it. Then you have people calling in reference to their neighbors, them having their dog tied up with no shelter with all this rain. just as well as their dog looking malnourished. And we always ask them, hey, if you can't deal with the dog no more, you could bring it to us. We'll put it up for adoption. You understand?
Of course, our coverage of Hurricane Milton continues in our 7:30 newscast, but even after news is over, you can stay tuned to Our News Bahamas on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for the latest updates. Still to come on Our News, postponed. The Inspire Her conference now has a new date thanks to the anticipated severe weather associated with Hurricane Milton. And in world news, at least 6 people left wounded in a stabbing attack in the Israeli city of Hadera. That's coming up when Our News returns.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Hey y'all, are you ready to be inspired? I am thrilled to announce that Inspire Her 2024 is coming, and it's going to be bigger and better than ever. Join us at the luxurious Atlantis Hotel Paradise Island on October 10th for an evening filled with inspiration, empowerment, and connection. The evening session promises to offer exclusive networking opportunities and transformative discussions. We invite everyone to attend and to be part of this incredible gathering. Hear from leading women activists, entrepreneurs, CEOs, thought leaders, and more as they share their stories, insights, and wisdom. Tickets are now available for purchase through the Alive Events app. Corporate packages and vendor opportunities are also available, providing a unique platform for businesses to showcase their support and connect with a diverse audience. Grab your girlfriends, mark your calendars for October 10th, and join us at the Inspire Her 2024 Women's Conference. See you there.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. The Bahamas' senior men's national team is set to return to CONCACAF Nations League play. The Bahamas Football Association recently announced the roster for the second window of league play. The Junkanoo boys will face the U.S. Virgin Islands on October 12th, followed by a match against Barbados on October 15th. Due to ongoing renovations at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium, the Bahamas will once again be on the road, with the matches hosted at Wildly Turf in Barbados. Anton Richardson and the New York Mets are one win away from the National League Championship Series. The Mets defeated the Philadelphia Phillies 7-2 last night at Citi Field in Queens, New York to take a 2-1 lead in the best-of-5 series. The finals matchup is set. For Jonquil Jones and the New York Liberty to win the 2024 WNBA title, they'll have to go through the Minnesota Lynx. The Liberty came into the playoffs as a top seed, while the Lynx were number 2. New York is still searching for their first title in franchise history, while Minnesota has 4 titles, all between 2011 and 2017. Minnesota also won the regular season series between the two teams at 3-1, including the Commissioner's Cup final. Jones draws another tough assignment headed into this series: Defensive Player of the Year and All-WNBA first-team selection, Nafisa Collier. Kai Jones saw extended minutes in preseason game number 2 for the LA Clippers. Jones finished with 13 points and 5 rebounds in 22 minutes of the Clippers' 115-106 win over the Brooklyn Nets at Front Wave Arena in California. He played the most minutes off the bench and shot 6 for 8 from the field, all on dunks. That'll do it for Our Sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
After the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as more than 1 million people in Western Florida's coastal areas rush to evacuate. And Cubans also feeling the impact, now facing waterlogged roads as Hurricane Milton heads north to Florida. We have the details when Our News returns.
My name is Trevor Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
When hurricanes and emergencies strike, timely information can save lives. That's why Alive Business brings you bulk SMS messaging, your essential tool for staying informed and safe. Imagine having critical updates and safety tips delivered right to your phone, anytime and anywhere. With bulk SMS messaging, you can send real-time alerts and updates and timely notifications. When every second counts, count on Alive Business bulk SMS messaging. For more information, contact the experts. Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be extra.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Florida residents had one final day to evacuate or hunker down before the catastrophic Hurricane Milton made landfall, triggering a life-threatening storm surge. With more than 1 million people in coastal areas under evacuation orders, those fleeing for higher ground clogged highways on Tuesday, and gas stations ran out of fuel in a region still recovering from the devastating impacts of Hurricane Helene less than 2 weeks ago. The storm was on a collision course for the Tampa Bay metropolitan area, home to more than 3 million people, though forecasters said the path could vary before the storm makes landfall late Wednesday night. Florida resident Stuart Cleek says the storm is like nothing they've ever had to prepare for.
We've never had one like this because I've been here for 38 years and never had one that forced us to do this. Never being able to find fuel. This is the only place that has fuel. We boarded up the windows with metal sheeting. We've cleaned everything up, tried to have some tree limbs and stuff trimmed previous, but really just a matter of getting family together in one spot.
Cubans are facing waterlogged roads as Hurricane Milton heads north to Florida. According to Elia Pila, a meteorologist from the Cuban Meteorology Institute, strong swells will be arriving on the northwestern coast of the western part of the country as Milton barrels north. Pinar del Rio and Havana City are expected to be affected by the storm. On Tuesday, Milton impacted the Yucatan Peninsula as it gained strength in the Gulf of Mexico. And at least 6 people were wounded, 2 of them seriously, in a stabbing attack in the Israeli city of Hadera. Police said the terrorist has been neutralized. The stabbings reportedly occurred in 4 separate locations. Israel has been on high security alert since the Hamas assault a year ago sparked the war in Gaza, while a conflict to the north with Lebanon-based Hezbollah continues to escalate.
Still to come in Our News, today in history. Find out interesting facts about the day that was October 9th. And then in Our News at 7:30, our Joshua Williams joins us live from the scene where a tornado touched down in the capital on Tuesday. That's coming up when Our News returns.
Hey y'all, are you ready to be inspired? I am thrilled to announce that Inspire Her 2024 is coming, and it's going to be bigger and better than ever. Join us at the luxurious Atlantis Hotel Paradise Island on October 10th for an evening filled with inspiration, empowerment, and connection. The evening session promises to offer exclusive networking opportunities and transformative discussions. We invite everyone to attend and to be part of this incredible gathering. Hear from leading women activists, entrepreneurs, CEOs, thought leaders, and more as they share their stories, insights, and wisdom. Tickets are now available for purchase through the Alive Events app. Corporate packages and vendor opportunities are also available, providing a unique platform for businesses to showcase their support and connect with a diverse audience. Grab your girlfriends, mark your calendars for October 10th, and join us at the Inspire Her 2024 Women's Conference. See you there.
My name is Troy Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to do the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was.
This is Our News. Welcome back. On this day in Bahamian history, on the 9th of October 1963, Hurricane Flora passed over the southeastern Bahamas, causing one death on the island of Mayaguana. It's among the deadliest Atlantic hurricanes in recorded history, with a regional death toll of at least 7,193 people. Then, in 2018, the Minis administration filed an application to prevent any further development of shantytowns that were earmarked for demolition. The anticipated severe weather associated with Hurricane Milton causing the postponement of the Inspire Her conference, which was set for tomorrow at the Atlantis Resort. Senior officials from the Cable Bahamas group of companies announcing that the Women's Empowerment Conference will now be held on Thursday, November 7th. All existing tickets will be transferred to the new date. If you're unable to attend the new date, you're advised to contact events.support@bealive.com for assistance with alternative options.
Our number one priority is really the safety and convenience of our attendees, our sponsors, and our staff. So in light of the Prime Minister's recent remarks on closing down the schools, well, not closing the school, closing down the schools, closing the schools, and also in light of the traveling storm and the inclement weather that we're going to have, we just don't want to take any risks.
Of course, our coverage of Hurricane Milton continues in our 7:30 newscast. But even after news is over, you can stay tuned to Our News Bahamas on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for the latest updates. For the full recap of Today in History and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs or Our News Bahamas on Facebook. That does it for Our News at 7. Joining us now is our Megan Shepard with the latest headlines. Megan?
Thanks so much, Marlena. Well, over in the north, officials in the Emergency Operating Center stand ready as Hurricane Milton makes its way toward the north. Italia Hall is live. Plus, wicked weather in the capital. Our Joshua Williams is live in a community in the east impacted by a tornado touchdown. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on Our News Live at 7:30, the latest on Hurricane Milton as effects of that powerful storm can now be felt across land here at home and in Florida. And it's all systems go. Our Italia Hall is live from Grand Bahama as officials stand for impact of Hurricane Milton. Plus, millions of Floridians are on the move. Our Delvardo Emmanuel speaking with Bahamian students evacuating the state for safe harbor here at home. And later, our Joshua Williams is live in eastern New Providence, where homes and trees were impacted as a tornado touched down some 24 hours ago. These stories and more when Our News at 7:30 returns.
Dino Notes here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure and hit that follow button if you want to see more stories like this. Be sure and follow all of the Our News social media pages. And hey, don't forget, turn on your notifications so you never miss out on top stories from the team you already trust.
I love my EV. I am Generation E.
I am Generation E. I am Generation E.
And I am Generation E.
Bahamas, are you ready? Keep the vibe alive. Music group, along with Alpha Sounds, present the best of the best. Rake and Scrape Explosion Reloaded. This is the biggest one-day all-Bahamian concert of the year. Featuring KB, D-Mac, Abby, Mama D, Fan Shaw, Shine 242, The Falcon, and more. Mark your calendars. It's going down November the 2nd at Super Club Breezes Ground. Tickets now available at BahamasEtickets.com or both Beauty Shack location. General admission $60. VIP, Skybox, and Skypods also available. For more info, call 394-0819 or email keepthevibealive242@gmail.com. Experience the magic once again with more legends for one night only. Come party with us November 2nd at Best of the Best. Rake and Scrape Explosion Reloaded.
I'm Michaela Kerr. I'm an 18-year-old freshman at the University of the Bahamas, and I'm a computer science major. I'm also the NT Corporation's Youth Ambassador for the Environment, and I'm an environmentalist. My journey as the environmental advocate began with a simple yet profound.
Hurricane Milton is closing in on Florida, with hurricane warnings posted for all counties in the central and western parts of the Sunshine State. Welcome to Our News, and thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Shepard. Life-threatening storm surge expected for miles inland, with destructive winds over 110 miles per hour. Hurricane Milton could prompt flash flood alerts across Tampa and Orlando, with 8 to 12 inches of rain expected. In the northern Bahamas, tropical storm conditions are expected to start tonight. Here are the developing stories around Hurricane Milton tonight. Grand Bahama remains under a hurricane warning tonight, following a full day of activations and just outside of the cone of concern, but still close enough for tropical storm conditions. Grand Bahamians got ready today. We're on the ground as this community prepares. Tornadoes in New Providence? More than 24 hours ahead of Hurricane Milton, a tornado rips through an East New Providence community. We've got the pictures to prove it was not just a bout with bad weather. Those are the big stories on the radar tonight. We've got full coverage ahead. But the news gets started in our weather center. Meteorologist Greg Thompson has Hurricane Milton in the spotlight. Greg, we know our audience wants to know, especially in the north, where is the storm located at this hour? And what does this mean for Grand Bahama, Bimini, and Abaco?
Well, the northern eye wall, I just saw the 7 p.m. update that northern eye wall is now moving ashore near the Sarasota, Tampa area, and that's going to be heading downhill for those people in Central Florida. A lot of showers and thunderstorms associated with the system. We still have some rain bands moving across the Bimini area. That will continue to affect those areas. And we have another rain band that's coming from the south across Cuba. That will actually move into the Bahamas overnight. So we're looking for some more showers and thunderstorms. The winds have picked up already, so it's getting a lot windy up there. And of course, we have that tropical storm warning in effect for Grand Bahama, Bimini, as well as the Abacos.
So earlier, we heard your colleagues in the north say they were expecting more wind than rain. Has that changed, or is that forecast still holding?
That's still holding. Most of the activity is well to the north of us, but like we said, we will see some of those rain bands moving across the area. Fortunate for us, those early rain bands that moved across Florida produced some tornadoes, and those have been weakening as we see the system continues to move towards the north and east. But we expect those showers to begin tonight, and they will continue through early tomorrow.
Thanks so much. And of course, Greg joins us again later tonight. With each storm update, the possibility of tropical storm conditions become more real for the Northern Islands. Government agencies and the Department of Meteorology meeting this afternoon Shore plans for Grand Bahama. Our Italia Hall is standing by live tonight with more from that meeting. Italia, what's the latest?
Well, Megan, as you can see, it's beginning to get a bit windy, not much rain right now, but conditions are definitely picking up here on Grand Bahama, and I'm standing directly outside the Emergency Operations Center, which is on the bottom floor of the Harold Gregory Government Complex. And here, Met officials recently met with government officials just to give an update, which we would have heard earlier from senior Met official Trinad Tynes. And this is not the first briefing for today. I attended a briefing earlier. Here's that report. The Incident Command Center at the Obadiah H. Wilchcombe Complex is now fully activated. The relevant agencies guiding that news conference today as well. Chief Meteorologist Trinad Tynes giving a preview of what Grand Bahamians can expect.
We are anticipating tropical storm conditions. We're not getting a tropical storm. We're not getting a hurricane. We're only getting some of the conditions. The majority of rainfall is associated to the north side of the system. We're only going to get 1 or 2 isolated heavy downpours, maybe moving through, but nothing too much significant by way of rainfall. Our major concerns will be the gusty winds.
As for Bimini?
Bimini is going to feel the winds first, but like we said, we are anticipating that we're going to get some wave-driven waves moving in, which means you may get seas on top of, let's say, on top of the high tide, which is we're looking basically 1 to 3, 2 to 4 feet higher than the normal tide.
Minister for Grand Bahama Ginger Moxie and Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini Kingsley Smith reinforcing the message to stay inside once the tropical storm conditions begin.
And we just want to ensure that, the communications are there, that we're ensuring that everyone is aware of what's happening, and that's why we're constantly doing these briefings.
Remain indoors, especially if you're on the south, in West Grand Bahama and Bimini on the south. We advise to move closer inland.
District Administrator Leonard Dames addressing that news conference as well.
Once the all clear is given, that is when we all as emergency support functions, we would go do our initial inspection, we would do our reporting, and we also report to the DRM authority so they would know basically what is going on in the district.
Reporting for our news, I'm Italia Hall. While as weather conditions continue to pick up here on Grand Bahama, residents are urged to stay indoors for safety reasons. Reporting live in Grand Bahama for our news, I'm Italia Hall. Back to you in studio, Megan.
Thanks so much, Italia. Well, tonight, Hurricane Milton is closing in on Florida, and residents across the state are making last-minute preparations as they brace for the storm's arrival. Bahamians living in Florida were faced with a tough choice: evacuate or take on Hurricane Milton head-on. Our Delvado Emmanuel spoke to some of them about making the tough decision.
Over the last few days, Florida authorities have issued one of the largest evacuation orders in that state since 2017. Urging more than 500,000 people to leave their homes. Among those heeding the warnings was Bahamian Laurie Dames. Dames is an 11-year Tampa resident who decided to leave most of her earthly possessions behind and head north. While her home is not in the flood zone, Dames says she had more than enough reasons to leave.
So we secured the house the best we can that time. We made a decision, I believe, early Monday, to just evacuate. We figured we have to make it now based on what happened overnight. The storm went from a tropical storm on Sunday to Cat 1 before I went to bed, and I woke up at a Cat 3.
Howard Johnson, another Bahamian living in Tampa, he opted to remain in his home.
Sir, what we are most afraid of, we're not on low ground. We're not, in any areas that would be subjected to storm surge or flash flooding. So our real concern here in the northern end of the county and the city would not really be water per se or flooding, but more so the wind damage.
Orlando resident Jonathan Burrows also decided not to evacuate and even had tips for others staying behind to ride out the storm.
Once you've actually been inside a storm, you know exactly what to go ahead and prepare for. If you do have areas that potentially have flood in just traditional rain, you want to make sure that you have preparations with your sandbags, or if you have any way to divert that water away, and just really be more aware of everything that's around your home.
Reporting for our news, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
Monster storm Milton also responsible for a lot of hotel cancellations at many hotels across the country. The head of the Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Association helping us to put that into perspective earlier today. Within the last 24 hours, local hotels have witnessed an increase in guest cancellations or rebookings.
I think persons are wanting to ensure that they're safe during this particular time. And so many of the hotels are honoring their request for either cancellations or rebooking at a later date.
President of the Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Association, Robert Sandy Sands, in sharing this information, could not say for sure if visitors were opting for extended stays.
We're seeing more persons making requests to not arrive rather than those that are here to extend. The reason being that guests that are here, there are still flights available to certain parts of the United States, etc. We continue to be in consultation with NAD, and we will monitor the status of airlines on an hourly basis.
Unfortunately, Sands says a busy hurricane season is going to impact the tourism business.
The industry remains committed to praying for persons within the Central Florida area who are likely to receive the brunt of the hurricane's impact. We pray for their health and safety. And equally important, we pray that there is not too much major disruption to the supply chain of goods and services to certainly to the islands of the Bahamas.
Well, wild weather spawning a tornado that touched down in eastern New Providence on Tuesday evening, leaving in its wake a path of uprooted trees and damaged homes and businesses. Our Joshua Williams visited the community today, where he spoke to those impacted by the force of nature. He joins us live from eastern New Providence. Josh.
Thanks, Megan. Yes, I'm here through Terry Lane. This is just off of Marigold Farm Road near the Joe Farrington Road community here in eastern New Providence. And residents tonight are still picking up the pieces after a tornado rolled through this community yesterday evening. Now, you at home, I want you to take a look at this drone footage shot by our cameraman, Teran Knowles. You can see a clear path of destruction. Trees, brush completely flattened. We also see damage to property, including roofs. Now, I would have spoken to a local grocery store owner in this community, along with other residents who shared their frightening experience with me.
It was raining and stuff, and I just hear, woo, like this loud wind.
This CCTV footage obtained exclusively by Our News shows what appears to be a tornado sweeping across the parking lot of the Family Market food store. While the twister only lasted for moments, it left a trail of destruction that stretched for nearly half a mile. Fences blown down, damaged vehicles, and roofs left with gaping holes tell the story of what occurred here around 4 p.m. yesterday. The Family Market owner, Tanya Trico, says her customers had to run inside to seek shelter.
When we looked up, we noticed that there was a funnel cloud coming, and that's when I realized that it was a tornado. And as soon as that happened, everybody ran inside, and we didn't get a good visual of it because everybody was inside at the time. But upon further investigation, when I looked at the cameras, I realized that the tornado cut straight across.
Anthony Turnquest lives right next door. He came home to discover a noonie tree uprooted in his yard. His elderly aunt in the home when the tornado struck, tossing the tree just feet away from the home where his aunt was inside.
From that end of that building, plywood fly. See the plywood right there? Fly from over here.
This resident tells me he had just redone his roof, but all of that work was literally blown away.
The thing we hear is a bunch of noise, a bunch of rattling, you know what I mean? Huh? So my sister and my niece was home, so they was panicking, and I was like, ain't really much you could do.
And Megan, another thing neighbors telling me is that they're taking this extremely seriously. They say if a tornado can do this, imagine if NASA was to get a direct hit from a hurricane. They say it's a wake-up call for residents on the island. Back to you, Megan.
Wow, what an experience that must have been. Thank you so much, Josh. Well, the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training confirming late this afternoon, tomorrow, October 10th, for schools in New Providence, Andros, the Berry Islands, and Eleuthera. The Department of Meteorology reports that Hurricane Milton has weakened, leading to a significant decrease in expected rainfall. However, as a precaution, schools in Grand Bahama, Bimini, Abaco, and Grand Key will remain closed on Thursday and Friday. The ministry will continue to monitor conditions and provide updates as necessary. And of course, for all of the latest updates on Hurricane Milton's impact across the country overnight, stay tuned to all of the Our News social media pages. Still to come on Our News, seeking safe harbor. A local Marina executive weighs in on where the international community is docking ahead of Hurricane Milton. Plus, Greg is back in the Weather Center with more on powerful Hurricane Milton. Those details when Our News returns.
I'm Michaela Kerr. I'm an 18-year-old freshman at the University of the Bahamas, and I'm a computer science major. I'm also the NT Corporation's Youth Ambassador for the Environment, and I'm an environmentalist. My journey as the environmental advocate began with a simple yet profound realization that our environment is degrading right in front of my eyes. And being NT's Youth Ambassador for the Environment means that my words and my actions hold the power to help change the environment and the world around me. I find it exciting that I can be a student, live my life, and use my words and my voice to change the environment and the world around me. Most times I think it's a privilege. It's our environment and it's our generation to own. I don't think as a young person that there's anything more rewarding than being a part of bringing awareness. I'm Michaela Kerr, and I'm making a difference in my own words.
Bahamas Power and Light Company Limited looks forward to helping our customers eliminate wasted energy. Energy conservation is the decision and practice of using less energy. Energy efficiency means using less energy to perform the same task, unplugging appliances not in use. That's energy conservation. Replacing an old refrigerator or washing machine with a new model. Adding insulation to the attic and walls of a home. That's energy efficiency. People conserve to gain more control over their energy bill and to reduce demand on the Earth's natural resources. Take this journey with us as we build for better. BPL.
Hey y'all, are you ready to be inspired? I am thrilled to announce that Inspire Her 2024 is coming, and it's going to be bigger and better than ever. Join us at the luxurious Atlantis Hotel Paradise Island on October 10th for an evening filled with inspiration, empowerment, and connection. The evening session promises to offer exclusive networking opportunities and transformative discussion. We invite everyone to attend and to be part of this incredible gathering. Hear from leading women activists, entrepreneurs, CEOs, thought leaders, and more as they share their stories, insights, and wisdom. Tickets are now available for purchase through the Alive Events app. Corporate packages and vendor opportunities are also available, providing a unique platform for businesses to showcase their support and connect with a diverse audience. Grab your girlfriends, mark your calendars for October 10th, and join us at the Inspire Her 2024 Women's Conference. See you there.
Hey guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Just click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so you stay up to date with content like this from the team you already trust. As Milton approaches the western coast of Florida as a major hurricane, many boaters are taking their yachts and smaller boats to safer harbors. We spoke to one local Marina executive who says they may be seeking shelter, but they aren't coming here. Our Marlena Leonard explains.
Well, to be honest, our occupancy in all the marinas has gone way down due to some of the changes in policies. And then, so we put out an ad, was it 2 days ago, 3 days ago, to advertising half off rates, for boats that want to get out of the Florida area because, we knew the storm was going to travel across Florida. So, we thought we'd try to entice some business over here, give them 50% off, but we we had no takers.
A surprising turn of events considering the amount of Floridian boaters looking to get their boats to safe harbor. Bay Street Marina CEO Peter Morey says more and more often foreign clientele are calling newer Bahamian regulations prohibitive. As for where those boaters have opted to seek shelter from Milton instead.
For the storm, I think most of them will stay, stay local and try to move further south. I know quite a few boats that I talked to went down to the Keys and filled up, the marinas down there, obviously as far south as they can get.
We asked Morey what preparations would look like at Bay Street Marina for any weather that might come in Milton's wake.
For us, it's a normal storm, it's not gonna, if we thought we were gonna get Cat 1 winds, then we would be, shutting down the docks, putting, wrap on all the pedestals. A Category 3, we'd be asking everybody to leave. A lot of them would be going inside Atlantis and Hurricane Hole, and trying to get out of the. Because we're right on the harbor.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Marlena Leonard.
Coming up in sports, the Junkanoo boys are ready to take the pitch again in Nations League play, and the WNBA Finals matchup is all set. JJ and the Liberty will face the Minnesota Lynx.
Plus, more wicked weather updates from meteorologist Greg Thompson. We have the details when Our News returns.
My name is Trevor Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
When hurricanes and emergencies strike, timely information can save lives. That's why Alive Business brings you bulk SMS messaging, your essential tool for staying informed and safe. Imagine having critical updates and safety tips delivered right to your phone, anytime and anywhere. With bulk SMS messaging, you can send real-time alerts and updates and timely notifications. When every second counts, count on Alive Business bulk SMS messaging. For more information, contact the experts. Are you?
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. The Bahamas' senior men's national team is set to return to CONCACAF Nations League play. The Bahamas Football Association recently announced the roster for the second window of league play. The Junkanoo boys will face the U.S. Virgin Islands on October 12th, followed by a match against Barbados on October 15th. Due to ongoing renovations at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium, the Bahamas will once again be on the road, with the matches hosted at Wildly Turf in Barbados. Anton Richardson and the New York Mets are one win away from the National League Championship Series. The Mets defeated the Philadelphia Phillies 7-2 last night at Citi Field in Queens, New York, to take a 2-1 lead in the best-of-5 series. The finals matchup is set. For Jonquil Jones and the New York Liberty to win the 2024 WNBA title, they'll have to go through the Minnesota Lynx. The Liberty came into the playoffs as a top seed while the Lynx were number 2. New York is still searching for their first title in franchise history, while Minnesota has 4 titles, all between 2011 and 2017. Minnesota also won the regular season series between the two teams at 3-1, including the Commissioner's Cup final. Jones draws another tough assignment headed into this series, Defensive Player of the Year and all WNBA first team selection, Nafisa Collier. Kai Jones saw extended minutes in preseason game number 2 for the LA Clippers. Jones finished with 13 points and 5 rebounds in 22 minutes of the Clippers' 115-106 win over the Brooklyn Nets at Front Wave Arena in California. He played the most minutes off the bench and shot 6 for 8 from the field, all on dunks. That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. I'm Ronaldo. Back to the studio.
On the other side of this break, Greg Thompson has a check on conditions across the archipelago. Don't go away.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be
extra. What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you is?
I right here on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need you 25 cents no more.
My name is Trevor Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support.
This is our news. Welcome back. We have a couple of systems out there in the tropical belt. Of course, you know, the one that we were really concerned about is Milton, but we still have Leslie out there, and Leslie is generating some swells. That system that gave us a tornado yesterday, that's another area that's just to the northeast of the Bahamas. National Hurricane Center giving that a 10% chance for formation. Leslie, as I mentioned out there, still a hurricane. It's going to strengthen as it pushes towards the north and away from the most of landmass, but of course, Milton is the concern right now. The eye wall moving now into the west coast of Florida. So they're going to be going downhill as that system pushes towards the north and east across that state. Still will remain a hurricane as it exits across the eastern side of the state of Florida. And then, of course, across our area, we're going to watch these rain bands moving across as generating some showers and thunderstorms. That tropical storm warning is still in effect for the northernmost islands, and that will continue through tomorrow. Taking a look at the boating conditions, we still asking you boaters, well, you should be on shore. Small craft remain in port. South to southwesterly winds, they will be picking up 20 to 30 knots, and they will be gusting high at times tonight. That's for the extreme northern island. 6 to 9 foot seas, but building up to 14 feet along the Atlantic exposures. Low tide is at 7:27 tonight. The high tide at 1:09 in the morning. For the southeast Bahamas, caution fly few down there. South to southwest winds at 15 knots. Seas running 3 to 5 feet, but up to 8 feet along Atlantic exposures. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, we'll keep showers in the forecast tomorrow as those rain bands continue to move across the northwest Bahamas. We can see some improvement on Friday, and then Saturday, nice day, but we introduce some more moisture by the early part of next week with some trailing moisture associated with Milton. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
Thanks so much for all of those updates this evening, Greg. Well, that's going to do it for Our News tonight. We encourage you to stay tuned to the Our News Facebook page at Our News Bahamas, and of course, all of our social media platforms, including Instagram and Twitter, for the latest updates on Hurricane Milton as they become available. Thank you so much for joining us. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepard. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a safe and wonderful evening.